Welcome to Mock the Week. I'm Dara O'Brien. Joining me this week are Rhys James, Ellie Taylor and Ed Byrne, James Acaster, Hugh Dennis and Tom Allen. We started a round called Picture of the Week. I show the panel a topical image and ask them to tell me what is happening. So what's going on here?
I was sort of assuming Theresa May is in the background going, drill where the wire is.
Is it horror as shadow of man's penis looks like a hand?
How do you know this hasn't got a penis
hand
that looks like a shadow of a hand? How do you know that?
Well, I haven't seen as many as you, Dara.
And I can just imagine the Sun headline is something like, Madman Corbyn vandalises perfectly good wall with drill.
Is it Corbyn closing the door on his and Diane Abbott's 1970s sex den?
I think he's probably just going, yep, that's right, he's in there. Tony Blair will never escape now.
What we don't see is the bit where he starts the drill stays still and he spins round and around.
Yeah. Oh, Jeremy, and your mad adventures.
I like to think he just sidled up there and gone, this wall just became a stud wall.
Maybe it's him creating his absolute lad cave at last.
Well, I hope he has better luck than he had putting together a cabinet.
It's not just a cabinet, It's not just a cabinet, it's a shadow cabinet.
Whoa, what's going on here? What Radio 4 show are we on?
Good job he's wearing that vest, isn't it? Because it's the first time he's been highly visible since the election campaign.
Oh, you clap.
Now you get it.
Now you get it.
Also, good job he's wearing that hard hat.
That there is Jeremy Corbyn.
Thank you very much, Hugh Dennis. Yes, this is an almost entirely unrelated picture of Labour Party leader Jeremy Corbyn, who this week lost a vote against the second reading of the government's EU withdrawal bill, also known as the Great Repeal Bill. The bill would transpose EU law directly into UK law once the country leaves the EU. It was passed by Parliament this week by 326 votes to 290. Why did Labour try to block the bill?
Because they didn't agree with it.
There we go. And that's how Parliament works, baby.
Because they were afraid they considered it a power grab.
Yeah, there was.
It allows the Conservatives to have what they called Henry VIII powers, where they can actually kill their own wives if they annoy them. You know, and it's just worried about how much of a power grab it is. In fact, Tom Brake, who's the Brexit spokesman for the Lib Dems, came up with a great line when it went through. He said, it's a dark day for the mother of parliaments. Which just sounds like something you want to say covered in ravens in a dark room with smoke billowing around you. It's a dark day for the mother of parliaments.
So it's called the withdrawal bill?
Yeah.
Because from what I remember from reading Just 17, you should never rely just on withdrawal.
No. There's a danger there'll be some EU baby.
I knew a guy at college whose nickname was Withdrawal Bill.
How many children does he have?
He wasn't as popular as Repeal Bill.
Yes, it is. So we'll have all the EU's law, which the EU will notice. They're surely going to notice that we've just nicked all their laws.
Basically, we get rid of them over time, get rid of the ones we don't want. So essentially, it's going to be like a bloke in a high street going through a bin.
That's how bleak an image of that actually is. A homeless man digging to a bin to find the laws we want to keep. That is Britain in the next...
That is how it works.
I've worked out another way, so to explain it to you, Dara, if you don't understand.
Thank you very much.
So we get to keep all the laws that we want and then get rid of the ones that we don't like.
Yeah.
So it's sort of like if I married a bloke and he had loads of kids, and then once I'm married, I can just make the shit kids go and live with their real mum. It's that sort of thing.
That is also a bleak metaphor. I'm really hoping one of you has a metaphor involving a cake shop.
I can't believe Henry VIII's back.
Probably the largest surprise.
I was surprised enough when Blair got back into politics. But the fact that Henry VIII's making a comeback, that should be the headline. I don't know why no one's making a fuss about it.
It's all part of this Henry VIII clause. Right, but Henry VIII clause sounds like a man who comes down your chimney to behead your wife.
Wasn't Michael Fallon as well saying to Tony Blair, get over it? Which sort of sounded like they were arguing outside of Wetherspoons or something. Just get over it. Teresa's going to leave you, and you stop spreading nonsense about her online. She's going. Get over it. Like, I imagine that's how people talk outside Wetherspoons. I've not been. I also think that, is it all a big ploy? Because they're just sort of boring it. It's so boring. I mean, let's face it, it's boring. Like, all this, all this stuff is not this, not this. This isn't boring. This is lovely.
Tell you what's not boring. Henry VIII is back. Nobody cares. You'll be eating wild boars 24/7.
The idea is, like, I accept it is dull because it is EU law, and there's no way of that not being boring. And it is important because they don't, like, to legislate by proclamation. That's the idea. That if you get these in, they can just strike them off again. Okay, legislate by proclamation is like the way I parent, which is, OK, nobody gets ice cream. Nobody is getting ice cream, but I didn't do anything. OK, you get ice cream. Wait, that's not fair. OK, everybody gets ice cream. What, honey? OK, nobody gets ice cream again. That's how it works, basically, yeah.
Which of us are getting ice cream?
OK, you're all getting ice cream.
I want ice cream.
OK,
I want raspberry ripple.
No, there's
I'd
one...
love
We're getting...
sorbet.
Fine, we'll just nip back to the 70s and get you some. They have Ben and Jerry's now.
Henry VIII's back, Ed.
So how quickly are the negotiations taking place? Are they going well?
Oh, they're going tremendously well.
Yes.
We've made enormous progress.
Apparently, Lord Adonis was calling for David Davis to be sacked, and then people were calling for Lord Adonis to be sacked. And I'd quite like it if Lord Adonis was sacked, because that's also my Grindr name. A lot of confusion, actually.
And is being sacked something you offer people?
Yeah. Sometimes.
We need to put the power back in the hands of the people.
Yeah.
I don't want no EU telling me what to do. I even want the government telling me what to do. It'd be us, the people. I say, each day, different one of us takes it in turns to be in charge. Each day, and we do whatever we want, and that's true democracy. Take it in turns to be a dictator.
What happens on your day?
What happens on my day? 2 words. Raspberry ripple.
Moving on, however, what can artificial intelligence tell about you by scanning your face?
Is it that you can tell if someone's gay or not?
Yes.
In fact, is that the reason why I've been invited on this week?
No.
I mean, it's not that difficult to tell someone. I could do it if they're wearing corduroys. I also feel like... No offence, but I do feel like it's a bit like something people at school would have invented. Like, I remember when I was at school, people would say, if you're gay, say what? And people go, what? You go, you're gay then. Like, it's just an upgrade of that, basically.
So this is like a complex face analysing algorithm created by researchers at Stanford University used to predict a person's sexuality, and you say it is merely an upgrade on...
If you're gay, say what?
Yeah.
I don't see the use of it. What, you're going to, like, show Great Aunt Ethel and she's like, oh, I've been married for 45 years and I've got 6 kids, but I put my photo into the app and apparently I'm mad for the puss.
That will be quite the Christmas, wouldn't it?
It's going to make passport control at Qatar Airport more nerve-wracking, isn't it? It's a waste of time. I can already tell if someone's gay by just looking at a picture of their spouse.
So they measure you, don't they? And the only way they could test the validity of it is by asking those people who they've measured whether they were gay, right? So why not just ask them?
One of the metrics, apparently, as well, that is supposed to show that a man is gay is that he's got a larger forehead.
Yes.
So I'm just thinking that...
Look at mine.
Tom and Dara have exactly the same size of forehead.
Oh, my God, Dara, that means you're gay.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
That was it. I've always wondered.
Yeah, put a jumper around your neck, let's go and play volleyball.
When I was at school, we had gay cards. And according to my classmates, I was dropping mine constantly.
It's a bit like having an earring in the other ear, which no one knew which one it was. One side was the gay ear. I was so confused. I just had clip-ons in both.
It was supposed to be like one ear was gay and one ear was pirates. It was so ridiculous.
Those are the two things, and often they are confused.
Yeah.
In certain clubs. But...
Our gay scanner at school was called Warren, and if you handed in your homework, you were gay. If you did anything extracurricular, you were gay. If you whipped your naked classmates with a towel, you were just part of the rugby team.
Why not give this technology, though, to the gay community? Would that be more
Well, they
useful?
have already. It's called Grindr.
But on the edge of a gay bar, like whatever, there could be gay bars in which they could just go beep, beep, and go, no, you're straight. Because presumably it would be equally accurate at pointing out a straight, and you go, stop coming in here and wasting our time. I'm just saying that when I go in there, I go in, you know, because I like to dance. I want to dance. Who wants to dance? I want to
You
dance.
love to dance,
for God's
Dara. You
sake.
love to dance. You've got the forehead for it.
For God's sake. After that round, the points go to Tom, Hugh and James. Now, we play a round called Here Comes the Mock Stepper. Turn it up. This game involves Tom and Reese. So if you could make your way to the performance area, please. This round is a stand-up challenge. I launch the Wheel of News, and wherever it chooses to stop, one of our performers must step forward and talk about that subject. OK, here we go. Let's spin the wheel. OK, the subject is ageing. Who wants to come in that? Reese.
Big year for me this year. I turned 26. 26. Yeah, that means I'm now officially closer to 30 than I am to my stepdad. And, I don't have a stepdad. My parents are still together. My childhood was flawless, OK? I know I'm getting older, right, because I'm at the age now. My parents no longer give me presents for Christmas, right? They just give me money. But I can't give them money, because that's weird. And also, it would be less money. She gets me money, my mum. She gets me cash, right? But she wants to get me something to open, right? Something to unwrap on Christmas Day, so that while I'm unwrapping it, she can explain that she's kept the receipt, and if I don't like it, I can take it back. You know, mums. White mums. Every single year. Don't worry, Reese, I've got the receipt. If you don't like it, you can take it back. I'm like, thanks, Mum. You have bought me an errand. What's for Christmas this year? Oh, a trip to Top Man. Same as last year. Thank you. Right, so I've got to buy them presents, but they're hard to buy for because they're just generic white parents, you know? So I've got the same thing every year. Every year I've got to get my dad a John Grisham book. Every year I'm like, hey, Dad, this one's about a lawyer. Got to get my mum bath stuff. That's what she wants every year, bath stuff. Just get me bath stuff, Reese, just get me bath stuff. Got her a toaster. She didn't see the funny side.
Good man. Thank you very much, James. That leaves us with Tom. Let's see what your topic is. Let's spin the wheel. Topic is school.
Oh, OK. I'm very good at that running. So I think education has changed quite a lot since I was at school. Now I know teachers have TAs in the classroom, but this was long before the Territorial Army got involved. Back when I was at school, you basically had one teacher and 35 or 50 million children in one class. You were basically watching one person have a nervous breakdown before your very eyes. I remember my teacher, she'd be like, right, OK, we're going to do maths now. OK, tens, hundreds, thousands. OK, put those bricks away. OK, come and sit on the mat now. Come and sit on the mat. Don't piss yourself again. OK, now we're going to do reading. OK, read a bit, read a bit. Can you read? Right, doesn't matter. We don't have time. OK, now we're going to do geography. Geography, do you know where this is? Right, doesn't matter. We don't own it anymore. OK, now do art. OK, everyone draw this thing. Draw this thing. OK, hold up your drawings. OK, gold star for you, smiley face for you, house point for you. What does it mean? No one knows. OK, now we learn about nature and the water cycle. Water comes up here, comes along here, falls down in your face. Now we're going to make a display about that out of foil. OK, now we're going to learn a bit more about nature. OK, everyone go out to the playground. Go out to the playground so I can have a drink. Go out to the playground and get a leaf. Bring the leaves in. Don't bring the mud in, you stupid prick. Bring your leaves in. OK, now hold up your leaves. Now draw your leaf. Now sketch your leaf. Now trace your leaf. Trace, trace, trace everything you can. Trace it, trace. You've got to be able to trace. You'll never be able to get a job unless you can trace. Trace all day. It's the most important skill in the world. And colour in within the lines. No one will love you unless you can colour in within the lines. Maybe that's why he left me. Yeah, do a bark grubbing if you want, Lindsay, you show-off little bitch. All right, now take your leaves and put them on the wall and do them in the shape of a tree and do it nicely because it's for open day, which you don't understand, but my job depends on it. OK, now you're going to mummify a teddy bear. You're going to wrap your teddy bear in toilet paper, which also doubles as tracing paper. You're going to wrap your teddy bear in toilet paper, it teaches you nothing at all, but it keeps you quiet while I can do poppers. OK, now we're going to sarcophagus for your teddy bear, a coffin for your teddy bear, so we can all think about being dead. One day we're all going to be dead, cold and dead in the ground, which I wish I was. I wish I was dead, you bunch of... Oh, my goodness, children. It's time to go out and play. Play, 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 play.
Point now to Tom Allen. Both of you, come back. Thank you. Our next round is called If This Is the Answer, What Is the Question? On the board are 6 categories. Tom, which category would you like?
Health, please.
Health is the category, and the answer is 0. What is the question?
Is it how much the Leave campaign have guaranteed for the NHS since we voted for Brexit?
Is it what is the current temperature in Wayne Rooney's marital bedroom?
Is it how many fucks Mary Berry gives about the new Bake Off?
Complete the title of Katie Hopkins' biography, From Zero to...
How many people were on board when I suggested people stop saying they found a lump on their testicle and start saying unexpected item in the bagging area?
How many times did the borrowers actually return the stuff they supposedly borrowed?
Is it if we is 1 and poo is 2, what number indicates you're constipated?
How many of Jay-Z's problems are bitch-related?
How old was I the last time I touched a vagina? Painful, that. Yeah. It's a painful applause.
It is.
Is it, despite my best efforts, how many people have told me I'm the wind beneath their wings?
Is it the amount of matches that girl on Tinder got that threw her shit out the window?
Is it how many people have wished me happy birthday today? It's not my birthday, it's fair enough.
No. How much will Arsenal get for Alexis Sanchez next summer?
OK, I didn't have the correct answer of what 0 was in the news this week.
It's by how much has the average life expectancy of women gone up in the UK in the last few years?
Yeah, absolutely right. Thank you very much, Hugh. Yes, the question I was looking for was, what increase in life expectancy did British women see in recent years? Amongst British men, life expectancy increased by 0.08%. Whoa! Take that, ladies.
Suck it.
Analysis revealed that while life expectancy in the rest of Europe continues to surge, Britain's progress between 2011 and 2015 stalled. What is the life expectancy in this country, do you know?
It is... No, I don't know.
I think it's 79, is it? For...
83, isn't it?
83, yeah. But for men, it's 79, whereas in other countries, in Ireland, for example, it's 80 for men.
What a difference.
Well, I'm sorry. You won't be saying that when I moved there at 79. End of the year.
Well, if you moved there at 79, I will have been dead for quite a long time.
You should go now. Hugh, you should go now.
I'll attend your funeral, Hugh. I'll give a speech. I'll say, Hugh always told me I was the wind beneath his wings.
This is all a concern of one bloke, though. This story's in the news because of one bloke, isn't it? Who said that this is as big a crisis as any other in the NHS. And you go, basically, you just want to cheer up, mate. Don't you think? Because worrying like that is not good for your health. You look at Kim Jong-un, right? He lives a little, he eats a lot, because he knows the world could end tomorrow.
My husband is 9 years older than me. I would quite like the male average life expectancy to come down, because that means the sooner I get the house and the pension, so... We're very much in love, thank you.
In other news, what have doctors in the UK warned about?
Henry VIII's back.
It's where people check their symptoms on the internet.
Yes.
And get...
Cyberchondria.
I'd never heard of cyberchondria, and then I looked it up and I realised it's the only illness I don't have.
I used to be a massive hypochondriac, big time. My doctor hated me, this guy. One time, I remember him looking at me, I was standing there, and he went, "That is your hip."
Were you going, it's sticking out?
Yeah, it was exactly what I was doing.
Really?
You said that as a joke just then. I was literally going, what? This is sticking out? Wait, and it was like, it was through gritted teeth. That is your hip.
Have you noticed you've got one on the other side?
And I got cured by him eventually. When I went in, I'd seen another doctor, and it was a lady doctor, and I'd got convinced. But if you're a hypochondriac for long enough, eventually you're convinced that you haven't got a normal D. So I was like, you've got to look at it. And I just swear, it's the worst. She said, and I've checked with other doctors about this, and apparently they've said this is not standard protocol. She said, I can't look at that on my own. I've got to get someone else in. So she got, and this is definitely not on, the receptionist. She came in, showed it to both of them. The receptionist had no comment to make whatsoever. The doctor said, that's fine. I was like, I don't want to ever come back here again. I was like, are you sure? She went, I'll get another doctor in. So a third person come in, and it was the guy who I'd shown my hip to. And he came in, and he took one look at me and was like, oh, of course it's you. Only you would have 3 people in here looking at your dick. And he grabbed it, very dismissively went, that's fine. And I was like, I am never going to the doctors ever again. And that's how I got cured of it eventually, because I just felt so humiliated. Also, very difficult to go to the doctors again when the receptionist has seen your penis.
The problem I've got, I'm not a hypochondriac, I'm just ill, right? Always. I've got the immune system it looks like I've got, right? Like the other day...
You did it! Sort of like the ghost of a Victorian child.
It's all adding up. A Tudor, perhaps? The other day, I had to take a heartburn tablet because I'd got heartburn from taking a hay fever tablet.
Moving on, why was this lady back in the news?
Because we put the picture through some software and it turns out she's gay.
Will be an enormously surprising result of that case, it turned out.
It turns out that the photographer who owns the camera, who set up the camera, put all the settings into the camera, is the owner of the photograph and not the animal that pressed the button.
Basically, a monkey took a selfie, which could be the tagline for Instagram.
What is astonishing is that this legal battle with a man versus a monkey has taken 2 years, and we think we can sort out Brexit in less time than that.
Yeah, but it only took 2 years because his lawyer was a sloth.
The points go to Ed, Annie and Reese. Now we come to scenes we'd like to see. So if everyone can make their way over to the performance area, please. I'll read out this week's topics, and then we'll see what our panellists can come up with. OK, here we go. The first subject is unlikely lines from a sci-fi film.
Oh, my God, he's come back through the portal. Who? Henry VIII.
There is a problem, sir. I launched a photon torpedo, but it wouldn't flush.
I felt a terrible disturbance in the force. Like a million voices cry... Oh, no, just wind. Fine.
We shot down one of the flying saucers, and now there's rice paper and sherbet everywhere.
I can't fly this thing without a manual. Forget about a manual. He's not coming back.
You've eaten Han Solo. Oh, Chewie, that was a Wookiee mistake.
Lord Vader, the results are in for the naming of the new Death Star. The public wish to call it Deathy McDeathface.
I see you've attempted to create a new lightsaber, which is disappointing because
You're 40, Gary, and meant to be looking after our son.
It's Alien versus Predator at
So, Obi-Wan. Sorry, what did he win?
Number one, you have the bridge. I'm off for number two.
I've been asleep for 1,000 years. Cryogenically frozen in time, and now I wake up and see, oh, someone's drawn a cock and balls on my face, haven't they?
Mrs. Skywalker, I'm afraid the baby snuck in the birth canal. Use the forceps!
Yoda, Chewie, Darth Vader. Jag, marry, kill. That order.
My name is Optimus Prime, and today I'm going to save the world. So you'll be doing me a massive favour if we can move this MOT to tomorrow.
This ship will self-destruct in T-5. OK, sure, but, like, how long actually is that? Because no one's told me what T actually is.
I think these super-intelligent beings want us to learn their language. If you want to come here, you have to speak English, mate.
OK, the next topic is things you wouldn't hear on a political discussion show.
Contenders ready.
We'll take a question from the back. Yes, the man in the blue tie with the haunted look of a nonce on the run.
On tonight's programme, we'll be discussing the NHS, fracking and affordable housing. Only joking, it's fucking Brexit again.
See, most people don't realise the bell is called Big Ben and not the clock. That the clock is called Tickety Ted the time-telling bitch.
On Newsnight tonight, drugs, binge drinking and prostitution. We have the best after-show party on television.
Hi, I'm Tess Daly. And I'm Tom Daly. Welcome to the Daily Politics.
Hello and welcome to Question Time. Is it real or is it just a fabricated construct? Join us as we question time.
And here with us, Theresa May.
We keep trying ways to stop ISIS and we keep failing. So I ask you this. Has anyone tried a petition?
Vince Cable sitting on a table. Vince Cable sitting on a table. Vince Cable sitting on a table. We've run out of chairs.
But what would the average Victorian-era butler have thought of this news? Well, joining us now is Jacob Rees-Mogg.
UKIP is not a single-issue party. We're not only worried about immigration, we're worried about foreigners and people from abroad.
Robert Peston on Sunday, the first lyric rejected by Craig David.
We just stop arguing. Surely we can all agree. Whoever smelt it, dealt it.
Yes, my question is for Mr. Davis. I get wetter as I dry. What am I?
And tonight we will be trying something new. So, gentlemen, if you can just all flop them out, we can finally see whose is biggest.
Yes, we had a question from a man wearing glasses and a red and white striped jumper. Does anyone know where he's sitting?
No, I absolutely do believe in free speech, and I would like to say this. Fuck off.
Points at the end of that round go to Ed, Elliot Rees. And That's the end of the show. This week's winners are James A. Carter, Hugh Dennis and Tom Allen. Commiserations to Rhys James, Eddie Taylor and Edward. Thank you for watching. I'm Dara Breen. Good night.